good afternoon. It's 12:20 on Monday the 20th of December and I've just off on a hot tent wild camp. I'm heading back out to Fosseway like my last wild camp, and this time I'm on the outskirts of Bath. I'm heading up to the Bannerdown common. It's a big hill out of Bath, and I'm going to track the original Fosseway up to Bannerdown. The modern road curves round to take the sting out of the tail of the climb using the side of the hill. This one literally goes straight up just as the Romans did. I'm on my trusty caribou. It's very laden up because I've got all my water, quite a bit of food, some couple of cans of Guinness, as well as all my camping kit, and I've also bought a fair old bit of wood from home as well. So I'm leaving Bath as traffic free as possible. I'm following the river as the Romans did when they entered Bath, and this is the town centre to the start of the Bath to Bristol bike tracks. Is following the River Avon. That's a new bridge they put in several years back, so I'm going to follow it this way right into the centre of town, well, avoiding the centre of town, and then joining the London Road near the Clevedon Bridge, and then riding out to Bath Eastern, and I'll talk to you there. Now at the far end of Bath Eastern. I've come along the London Road here, and there's this little mini roundabout as the road heads out towards Bath forward there, and then it veers off left towards London. This is a little three-way junction. That's Coal Pit Road up there going up through the Elmhurst estate. It's a dead end, although you can get through on foot. That's the original Fosseway, the Roman road out of Bath, Foss Lane. That's where I'm going. And that's the modern Bannerdown road that, as I said, climbs up to the same elevation, and the two intersect about 632 feet in elevation. But that one curves around the hill to ease the gradient. This one goes straight up. I've left the tarmac up past the residential area, then there's this semi-metalled track up to this last house here. Then, as you can see, it becomes footpath. This next section is almost certainly going to be walking. I've just been able to ride this first little section of footpath, and now we get to the boundary of Bannerdown Common. As you can see, this is woods, not common, but you'll get the drift. We are here. We're going to go through some woods and then end out on the common. So the plan is to actually camp on flat ground up there with some really good views overlooking Bath and away from where I'm likely to be challenged or disturbed. It's 20 to 3 now and I'm at the summit, but I went horribly wrong back there somewhere and I lost my footpath. I was coming up that way, and as it veered up to the top here, all I could see was fencing. I left the bike a couple of times and scrambled up, but it was fenced off, and I just knew that was wrong. And the deeper I went into those woods, the more I thought I was going to have to carry on down to a minor road called Stewie Lane and like do a V to come back. And then I did another little bit of leaving the bike, scrambled up and just saw one of these yellow signs on a post. Suddenly realised, hey, I'm on course. Not the right one, but I could tell I was near the summit. And here we are. So not quite to plan. I certainly didn't want to be this far over. There's the mast next to the main road along there. I can hear it as well. That guy there is heading over to the car park. I should have been much further over that way. Quick update. It's now 4:15 and the light is fading rapidly. I've got my tent up in this little area just in front of the woods. Got all the bags off my bike and I've put it in a British Airways bag, big plastic bag to protect it. I'm going to put this big log over it overnight. Anybody who walks over it, it's going to make a lot of noise. Haven't got a lock. I'm actually going to use this to start preparing some of this wood. This is dry wood I've just walked into the woods to get. That's why I haven't been filming much. I didn't want to go in there and risk getting lost. So I've configured the tent slightly differently this time. I'm hoping it's going to be better, but it's all trial and error. Basically, it's 3 of the 4 quadrants. I got ground sheets on. I've tucked them up so they curl up against the edge of the tent. I say fly sheet. It's just a one skin tent. Last time somebody pointed out I had some of the ground sheets sticking out. I was so blown away by the sunset, I just never got round to really preparing the tent, and then I've sort of paid the price for that when it rained later. Here's all my food preparation area. That's where I'm going to sleep across there. And then the 4th quadrant I've kept bare, which is where the wood burner is, and the wood. That's all the wood I've bought from home. I'm going to start preparing all this now, so that's my next task. Hello, good evening. Welcome to my hot tent. It's just gone 5 p.m. on Monday, the 20th of December. It's the winter solstice tomorrow. As you can see, I'm festively decked up. I'm in my hot tent and I'm back on the Fosseway. Tonight I'm at Bannerdown Common. It's a summit just outside of Bath on the Fosseway. And I rode here on my bike, but instead of taking the modern Bannerdown road, I took Foss Lane, which is the original Roman road out of Bath. It really just goes straight up. It's quite intense, and it goes up to some houses and then turns into an unmetalled track and eventually some muddy tracks of footpaths through some woods, and before it emerges on Bannerdown Common and intersects with the modern day tarmac road heading towards Cullen. I'm starving hungry. I'm just about to light my titanium wood burner, but because it's Christmas, I thought I'd better bring a Christmas tree and switch the lights on. So here we go. Welcome to my Christmas light switch on. Ta-da! Luxury winter camping. As it's Christmas, very Merry Christmas to everybody and all the best in 2022. The clip you've just seen is a Facebook post, so that's to people that follow me, and it's the reason I repeated a few things from earlier in the video. So as you can see, I've got some Christmas lights. Thank you to some of the comments from my last few videos. I wanted to address those actually. So as I'm learning all the time, I'm open to all suggestions and advice, and one of the pieces of advice, a safety advice, was have the CO monitor, the carbon monoxide monitor, much higher up. Last time I actually had it on my chair, so I guess it was about knee height, waist height. I was told to have it much higher up, so I've dangled it from the top. I'm still finding my way around this tent. And the other thing was, it was pointed out to me, and it's true as well, I had the ground sheet sticking out through the tent. I hadn't really curved it up. To be honest, I didn't think it was necessary. And then, of course, when I had all that snow and then the heavy rain, it just came in the tent and got things wet. So thank you very much. And the other thing was, a couple of videos back, I asked people's advice about taping handlebars, and it was almost unanimous. Start from the bar ends and work towards the stem. And so that's what I've been doing the last few years. So thank you for your feedback. It's what I'm going to carry on doing. Even though I find it a little bit more difficult, I don't know where that starting from the stem came from, whether it's just me or whether somebody advised me to do it I simply don't know. But yeah, thank you very much. And I'll tell you what, I'm so hungry. I've only done about 6 or 7 miles, but that walk up through the woods was quite hard. And then processing all my wood as well. So yeah, I'm well ready for some food. I'm boiling some water with some pasta. Going to stir in some chili con carne. I've got a mince pie for afterwards and 2 cans of Guinness. A bit more detail about the Woods Walker titanium stove. I did say last time it comes with 2 stainless steel accessories, so I really like this. That's one of them, the collapsible basket, which allows you to dry some fallen wood, which is exactly what I'm doing. The second accessory, which I'm not bringing, I just can't see me using it, is a little tray. Again, it's collapsible and it comes out there and it acts as a hot plate almost. I just cannot see why I would want that. It just doesn't warrant the weight. As you can see, my pasta's boiling and actually my shoes are steaming quite well. They got quite wet going up through the woods. Had to walk through some quite boggy mud actually. My own fault, I went off. I've just put my shoes underneath and alongside the heater and they're steaming. In fact, I've got to keep an eye on them to make sure they don't actually burn. They're not touching at all, but there's a lot of steam coming off them because they really did get quite wet coming up through those woods. So that would be really good to put some dry shoes on later on when I go outside. I'm just outside actually looking at a tent. It's quite psychedelic looking with all those fairy lights inside. There's a few sparks coming out from the chimney actually, but they're blowing away from the tent luckily. There's always the danger that they fall back down on them. There goes one. There's my tea then, chicken curry with pasta, mince pies for afters, 2 cans of Guinness, and there's the pots just boiling some water and soaking with some detergent in. Bon appetit, Merry Christmas. It's 6:45 in the tent now and I've had my meal, my chicken curry with pasta and my 2 mince pies. And I feel able to start drinking some Guinness now. I got so thirsty earlier on. It's quite really hard work getting up here. So I may try drink plenty of water before trying to quench my thirst with Guinness. The fire's going okay. I'm trying to dry all the chopped wood there. I've still got a little bit of home wood from I bought with me just to get the fire started in the morning. I ideally really want to cook my breakfast on here without having to use a metal stove. Another point that was made to me, safety point, simply didn't occur to me. I did say last week after the stove burnt itself out, I used the flat surface to cook on my mess burner, which is a pretty foolhardy thing to do. It was pointed out to me and I've taken that on board. Of course it was, because you don't know what heat is going up and making it unsafe. So what I really want to do is not have to use the mess burner, but I certainly won't be using it on that flat surface tomorrow if I have to. The layout of the tent seems better. It may look a bit of a bomb site at the moment. I'm trying to get things dry because I realise all the steam coming off the shoes, that heater is drying the shoes out, so I'm trying to get my jacket dry again. It didn't rain today, it's just a perspiration coming up through the woods. I'm going to go outside shortly. It's quite chilly out there. You really notice it if you go out and then come back in. But I just want to have a wander around the common and see if I can look down on Bath on the lights. It's 20 to 8 now. I feel really nice and full. I've just opened my 2nd can of Guinness. So I've had my curry, pasta and my 2 mince pies. Feel very, very nicely warm. I've just been outside for a little walk because I wanted to have a look back at the Fosseway as it emerges from the woods onto the common, the way I should have come up today, because I went a little bit astray. I didn't see it, but I did see that view back in June, and I remember thinking I really want to have a look at that in the dark, and it looked spectacular. I did take the video camera out, but it just didn't come out very well. I'll maybe try and do a shot in the morning. So I'm probably going to get in my sleeping bag shortly. The fire's burnt down a little bit. I want to keep plenty of wood for tomorrow morning to heat up first of all, but also to cook my breakfast on. I've got bacon, sausages, beans, mushrooms and some ketchup. so that'd be nice having a fry up in here tomorrow morning. What I'm going to do now is actually just climb into my sleeping bag, not to go to sleep, just to sort of warm my feet up, because they got quite wet earlier on and they still feel quite cold now, and the heat's definitely dropping outside, and it's obviously going to drop inside here within a couple of hours. Still a little bit of warmth off the burner, but most of the embers have died out now. Yeah, looking down you can't see any of them. So unless anything else happens, I'll say good night and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. It's now 10 to 8 on Tuesday the 21st of December. Happy Solstice everybody. I slept alright last night. I did wake up about 1 AM. I needed to go outside. It's probably those 2 beers. What amazed me was how light it was in here. It never ever got dark whatsoever. I could have told the time by my watch at any point during the night, because there was a lot of cloud and also a full moon just bathing everything in light, and that was strange actually, considering it's midwinter. It was like being up near the Arctic Circle. It just never got dark. That was a bit weird. Got back to sleep on and off. I never got cold. A guy talking to me as I was putting the tent up warned me it's going to be very cold last night, and one of my friends on Facebook said, you know, it's going to be very cold. Well, even now I've not even got my puffer jacket on. It's actually not that cold. As you can see, I've got the wood burner fired up. I've already warmed up my beans and some washing up water, well, and for a second cup of coffee, so I can just whack those on when I'm eating this. And I've got the sausages, mushrooms and bacon frying. One thing I would say, I think a very important point, when I was doing my research about hot tent camping, the opinions seemed varied whether carbon monoxide was an issue or not. One person said it's just a myth. Well, I hedged my bets by bringing a carbon monoxide alarm from home, and I'm so glad I did, because up there it went off about 5 minutes ago and I had to quickly open the tent door. Now I've reset it a couple of times, it seems to be okay now, but I was totally unaware of anything apart from the heat. So yes, my personal experience, second time hot tent camping, was, I would say, definitely bring one. The meat's nearly cooked now. I'm just reheating the beans up, ready for my breakfast. There's my breakfast then. Bacon, sausages, mushrooms, beans, even bought some ketchup, my second cup of coffee, and I've just got the frying pan soaking away in some soapy water, and shortly I'll be heating some more water up, but meantime, bon appetit. Hello, good morning. Happy Solstice from the Fosseway. It's just gone 9:25 on Tuesday the 21st of December, Midwinter's Day, Solstice. This is the Fosseway coming up from Bath Easton as it emerges through some quite dense woods, and then it carries on this way, quite defined across the common there. That's heading towards the modern day Bannerdown road, which is going to be coming in from the right hand side. Then they intersect along there, carry on long past Culloden Airfield on its long trek up to Lincoln. This is my wild campsite, hot tent there with the chimney sticking up. It's quite sheltered with all these trees here. I think that protected me from the wind and the cold last night. I never really got that cold, even though it's forecast to be. It's far enough away from the trees to avoid any risk of falling branches. And talking about risk, this is only my second ever hot tent camp. I've been camping since 1977, so I'm fairly experienced, and one thing I was told years ago by a fireman friend of mine: never ever cook inside a tent because of carbon monoxide. It's a silent killer, and I never have. And so when these tents started getting introduced with wood burners in, I was really wary. I thought, I need to find out if it's safe or not. And so I did my due diligence, and what I found was opinions seem to vary. Some people said yes, you need to be very wary of it. Other people suggested it's not an issue. One person even called it a myth and said, as long as you manage your fire okay, it's just not a problem. I mean, what's that supposed to mean? Manage your fire okay? That's a bit like saying if you manage your money okay, you'll never get in trouble. But anyway, to hedge my bets, I bought a carbon monoxide detector and alarm from home. We keep it near our boiler, and lo and behold, my second hot tent camp, and it went off this morning while I was cooking my breakfast. I had no idea it was an issue. I knew the tent was getting warm, and in fact that was quite welcome. It was very pleasant on a winter's morning, and it just, even though I had the vents open, I just had to open the door quickly, and I reset the alarm a few times and it's okay. But yeah, I would urge you, if you are going to try hot tent camping, I would really urge you to bring a carbon monoxide detector. I've just had my breakfast. I'm letting the last of the embers burn off before I scatter them and dampen them with water. I've got my ground sheet outside. I've just done my washing up. I'll start doing my packing. Then when I leave, I'll be heading that way along the Fosseway, about a mile or so, turning right, dropping down into the Bybrook Valley and coming back into Bath that way. It's coming up to midday, about 7 minutes to. I'm all packed up, ready to roll. As usual, leave no trace whatsoever. That cow pat wasn't me, by the way. My cow pat is in there, buried deep. As well as all the scattered ashes, I poured the remaining water over them, scuffed them well in, been back to check. There's no heat coming out whatsoever. So, going to join this path along here, ride along to the main road, about a mile along, turn right, drop down towards the Bybrook and come back into Bath Easton, the other side of the Fosseway. I want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and send you my best wishes for 2022. Who knows what's facing us in 2022, but as I always say, look out for each other everybody, stay safe, see you soon.